This is Jasmine Hawkins, the co-founder of Becoming Her magazine, and today we have
Keisacampbell.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
So, what brought you here today to 111 Studios?
Well, it was a content day, right? And so I'm like, okay, Beautiful Living can use some content, a headshot. My hair is never pulled back, never. And so for me to, come in and just meet you guys for one, and just get some content as well, and to share and talk to you. Really, yeah.
I love that. And yes, it is content day.
Yes.
They're getting headshots, interviews, everything you need for your business.
Yes, that part, yes.
So, what business do you have?
So my brand or platform is Beautiful Living. It's where, how do I want to put it? Because people like, okay, what is it? Are you a coach? Yes, I'm a speaker, author, and a coach. And I don't put a name on my coaching because I've been called life strategist, beauty coach, business coach. I'm just a vessel
Right.
being used, and so I thrive off of helping women to live fulfilled lives, and they have to identify that. But pretty much in business, in life, help them to evolve and soar, and make sure that they show up in style. So you can't just be had. When it's time, when it's time to show up for what God has called you to do. So, just that piece of it just brings me so much fulfillment. And also, just sharing my voice and sharing my story and experience on my whole journey, right? I had a kid at 14, and people would think that, oh, okay, she ain't no amount to nothing. I didn't try to prove nobody wrong. I just knew that wasn't going to be my story, right? So your past doesn't define your destiny, and just keep moving forward and doing what God has called me to do. So I've never had a mindset of I can't do something. It was like, okay, I'm pregnant. Okay, I just got to figure out, make sure I graduate on time, right? And put the things in place. But as a 14-year-old, having that mindset, when as an adult, we have so many adults that can't shift. Yep. And you're like, wait a minute. I did it at 14, so you can't tell me you can't do this as an adult, right? And so I think certain things I just be having low, zero tolerance for. I'm like, no, it's not. I did it at 14.
Right.
So you can't tell me that. So what is that you want to do? I'm going to be your co-pilot to help you get there.
Mm-hmm. No excuses.
No excuses.
It's like, I didn't have any excuses, so you don't get no excuses.
And I didn't even think of it as an excuse. I was just like, okay, my main thing at this point is to make sure that I graduate on time, right, with my class. And, nothing else ever crossed my mind. It was just, that's what the goal was.
Yep, it had to get done.
And it had to get done, right? Then going through a divorce at 40, like how you start over at 40, and then, yeah. Just like, where they do that at, right? and so, yeah, I see him throwing his hand over. He's like, me too, right? It's like, but, where they do that at. But, again, it's still beautiful living on other side of whatever it is that you're going through. And beautiful living is not a destination. It's not, I got to get to, it's points along the journey that you have to reach called goals, but it's not a, once I get here, it's over. It's a destination. It's a journey. So you reach certain points, but then you have to keep evolving as the woman that you've been called to be.
I agree with you. So would you say that was your becoming her moment?
Yeah, I think my becoming her moment, when I think about it, I think I didn't realize I was becoming her all the way back, back when, right? Being a mom at an early age, and then, deciding like, okay, well, what I'm going to do next? Well, I want to go to college. Okay, well, then what you going to do? I'm going to go to college. I didn't finish in the 4-year route, but I never lost the vision, right? The vision was, I'm going to get my degree. Hell or high water, it's going to happen, right? Detours happen in life. However, I just pivot. And it's like, okay, well, I may not be able to go this semester, but I'm going to go next semester, right? And so I think even that, and then being married at 21, and then by 40, I think that's really what it becoming is, because all this time you be with somebody for all your time, and then you're like, oh, okay, now what does beautiful living look like now in this season of life, and having to redefine that, right? And every day I'm becoming her, I'm evolving. Every day something else is dropped in my lap that I have to evolve. Like just a couple of days ago, something was dropped in my lap, and I was like, Lord, are you done dropping? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Are you done dropping things in my lap? Like, now I got to navigate this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, even as, women, people in general, not even just women, because I know my platform is women, but even for the men, like, we should always be evolving and not getting stuck in situations. Not to say that situations don't make you stand still for a second,
Yep.
but you can't stay there, and it's a choice, right? It's a
Right.
choice that you have to make, that I'm not going to stay in this situation, right? I'm going to allow myself the emotions, but even in that, you have to, like, okay, sis, you've been in, okay, that was 15 minutes, you got to get up and do something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to do something else. And so I think just being in that space of just sharing that story so that women can understand, like, oh yeah, she was a teen mom, she got married early, she went through a divorce, but I'm still striving, I'm still thriving, I'm still becoming, and I'm never going to be until God called me home. I should
Yep.
always be becoming, evolving, and flourishing, and looking forward to, like, becoming the next, whatever that is for myself, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and surrounding myself in community in order to grow.
That
and
is so important.
yeah, your community is so important at every level, that you are, where you are in life. You just have to surround yourself with positive community.
Yes, yes. It takes a village.
It takes a bit, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I am thankful for the village. I know they tired of me sometimes, but
But that's what they there
yeah,
for.
they better utter it up under their. you better not
keep it
say
to
it.
yourself. What else do you have going on in your life?
So I have a book that I released this year called "The Journey to Beautiful Living: 7 Pillars for Living a Fulfilled Life." It is about my journey, but also how you can, I say about my journey, then I tell you how you can live that, or become better in that area. So there are 7 pillars to beautiful living. It's a bonus pillar that I never tell you. You have to get the book to get the bonus pillar. But I talk about mindset, your spiritual relationship with God. I talk about your physical beauty, and it's not your outer shell. It's about what we are eating and putting in our bodies, and things like that, because it's going to naturally show on the outside, right? When we're doing right by our body, right? I talk about relationships. That's like the core to beautiful living, right? And the relationship outside of other people, the relationship you have with yourself first. We have to nourish that self relationship, right? In order to be able to first show people how we want to be treated, and to know how to treat other people, because we have to love ourselves first. So talk about that in there. Then there's a pillar about financial beauty. And that goes without saying, right? And then professional beauty. That is what God has called you to. What has God called you to do on earth? It may be entrepreneurship. It may be a podcaster, right? It may be a 9 to 5. But what is it? And are you operating in that? That's the greatest fulfillment. And then that last pillar, but last but not least, is outward beauty. How are you showing up for all of those things? And I purposely put that at the end, because we always want to show up and show out, but we ain't worked on
Nothing on this.
nothing on the inside. Nothing. And so, and I said that in the book. I was like, oh, this was deliberate. Okay.
Right.
I put this was deliberate. But, it's my journey, pieces of it, to show that, I've been through some things. So I'm not just telling you guys what to do. I'm sharing my story, so you be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I get it, right? And if you are dealing with those things, even on how to shift your mindset, right? I talk about it, and at the end, I give you practical guidance on what to do in the moment, so that you can master that pillar of life, because the pillars represents whole life wellness in our life. So it's not just one off. It's like, these are the things that's why I had the 7, but I've added that 8th one on purpose, because 8 is number of new beginnings. So I want you to show up as your new self after you go through this book, and you will have the tools that you need in front of you to be successful.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really really amazing, and I love that you have that bonus, so that it's like it brings it all back together.
Yeah, it does. It does. It brings it all together, and it's like, wow. And the feedback that I've gotten has been like, Lord, you did that, right? Because you did that. Like, the feedback, one person in my DMs just like, hey, I got your book. every woman need to read this book. Every person need this book. And I'm like, she's like, I thought I was gonna just read it, and I was tired. And I want you to know, I got halfway through the book because I could not put it down to my eyelid just closed. And I was like, oh wow. But I get that response, And it's like, I'm not just telling y'all like beautiful living. Like, I'm really telling y'all like this is a journey, and I'm sharing my journey so you can say, okay, she done went through some stuff. I've been going through some stuff. Yours may not be divorced. Yours may not be that you had a kid at 14, but it's something. And I say that like, this may not be yours, but it's something. But you can still take this and apply it to your life and to get over whatever that is, so that you can show up beautifully. Yeah.
And so, please tell the audience, what is the name of your book one more time?
It's The Journey to Beautiful Living, 7 Pillars for Living a Fulfilled Life. You can get it at keisacampbell.com, and it's everywhere books are sold, like Amazon, Target, Walmart, everywhere. So, yeah. But you can get it from me, and I'll autograph it.
Right?
keisacampbell.com. Yes.
And so, you guys, make sure you guys check her out.
Yes.
Check her book out. And make sure you come to 111